This is why I'm hot. This is why I'm hot. This is why.
Hi, I'm Charles Sash, comedian, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a very serious topic called autism, why it's important to me, and why you need to come through and see the show dealing with autism. Okay, autism is a neurological developmental disorder that manifests itself markedly in the way it affects different individuals to different degrees. And for this reason, it's called a spectrum disorder because individuals who have autism spectrum disorder will have varying degrees of difficulty in social interaction, verbal and non-verbal communication, repetitive behaviors, and differences in sensory perception. The learning, thinking, and problem-solving abilities of people with autism spectrum disorder can range from gifted to severely impaired. And a big misconception is that autistic people are all very gifted, and that's simply not true at all. 11 years ago, my family's life was profoundly changed when my son was diagnosed with severe low-functioning autism. And since his diagnosis, I've personally been on a roller coaster ride of emotions, struggling with crippling bouts of depression and frustration and anger and despair and, businesses being liquidated and just failures of all sorts. Of course, this has had a very negative knock-on effect on my family and social life. Luckily, with support from family and friends, I was able to pick up the pieces of my life, get back in the saddle. So I want to share my family story with the world and spread awareness of what autism is and how to deal with it. I mean, the diagnosis rate for autism has increased dramatically over the years, where in the 70s and 80s, 1 in 2,000 kids were diagnosed with autism in the USA. And today, the CDC, which is the Center for Disease Control, says that 1 in 68 children are diagnosed with autism. So it's with those stats, it's quite likely that you know somebody or family dealing with autism. And I think it's important that people know what it is and how to deal with it. So the talks I give are in partnership with Autism South Africa. So each talk I give will help to raise funds for Autism South Africa to continue to do their critically important work, helping families on the ground dealing with autism and spreading awareness. And I also hope to educate the public about this condition. So spreading awareness about autism, the symptoms, the challenges, dispelling the myths. There are so many, discussing some of the treatments and that sort of thing. It's a big part of what this talk is about. But it's not just about education, and it's about sharing my family story, the process of dealing with grief, tragedy, challenges beyond your control, and then trying to distill some good from the turmoil, while using the language of comedy to lighten it all and, drive some of the points home. So I use my son's autism diagnosis as a placeholder for how to deal with any monumental, life-changing tragedy, or event that may occur in your life. So even if you don't know anybody with autism, the message in the talk is very universal, and it will be very informative and entertaining at the same time. People will leave the talk feeling inspired, motivated, informed, highly entertained, and with a new appreciation for their lives and the people in it. Dealing with autism is a hybrid, educational, motivational, entertaining, life-affirming talk in which I cover all sorts of topics which I have had to deal with in my life and coming to terms with the reality of my son's diagnosis. So this is not a typical motivational, just say yes, kind of motivational talk. The talk I give touches on various subjects which are of great importance to corporate South Africa. Things like race, identity, questions and challenges that I've personally grappled with, like who am I as a person in this country? What is my identity? What does it mean to be a good father? What does it mean to be a man? What is normal? And so by the time the talk is over, people will be walking out, with a bit of a bounce in your step, feeling informed, enthused, and passionate about life and the challenges it presents us with. Of course, there's the upside of also contributing towards raising funds for Autism South Africa. So I'd encourage corporate South Africa to get booking your